everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For everyone who's new here, my name is Lucie Fink. I am 28. I am 16 weeks pregnant today. Although by the time this video goes up, I'll probably be a bit further along. I live in New York City and I make lifestyle videos on YouTube. Before we get into it, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the red subscribe button on my channel if you have not yet subscribed. I know this video has been a long time coming and I have just had this footage sitting on my computer for months now. But I did feel the need, instead of just compiling it all together and uploading it, I felt like it was useful for me to sit down and actually give some background and backstory. Even though the clips are pretty entertaining on their own, I feel like it just enhances the experience to have a little bit of a background commentary and explanation going into it. So if you are in a rush, you can feel free to just like fast forward through and find the clips, but I'm telling you, if you have some time, it will really truly enhance your viewing experience to listen to the backstory, and it'll just make the reveals a lot more exciting. So I feel like the first thing I need to share here, just so that you're like kind of on the same wavelength as my family going into this, is Michael and I have been essentially lying to our families for months now. Years, honestly, years. We have been telling our families consistently that we are nowhere near ready to have a baby. And that's just been a lie. We've just been trying to get everyone in the family to think that this is going to happen way later than it actually was intended to happen. And that's because we really wanted to surprise people. It didn't actually come up too many times with my parents, although whenever it did come up, we would make sure to say like, oh yeah, that will be years down the line. But with Michael's parents, it actually did come up and we talked about it, and I specifically dropped a bomb on his mom one day where I told her that I probably wouldn't be ready to start trying for kids until I was 32. And I'm currently 28. She thought maybe we would try sooner, and when I told her 32, she realized like, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna need to slow things down. They are nowhere near the timeline that I thought they were. And even my twin sister, Allie, did not know that we were actively trying. So Allie probably knew more than the others. Like, she knew that we were ready to start trying. And actually she knew that I had intentionally tricked his family with the whole 32 thing. Nobody, literally nobody except for the two of us, knew that we were actually trying. So now let's fast forward to the day we took the test. We got our positive pregnancy test. As you know from the video with my twin sister, I ran over to my sister's apartment that very same day and I broke the news to her. If you haven't yet seen that video, I will link it for you up here.
Because my sister's pregnant. Betting my sister's pregnant. Pregnant? My sister's pregnant. No, you're not. No, you're not. What?
It's my favorite video in the whole world, so if you missed that, maybe check that out first, just to go in chronological order. As soon as I told Allie, our next plan was to tell all of our other siblings. So I had done a lot of thinking about how I wanted to tell everyone in our families, and all I knew was that I wanted to get everyone on tape because I wanted to be able to show everyone their own reaction later on. And also I wanted to do something creative and fun for every person that we told, and I wanted everyone's reveal to be a little bit different. So first, for all of our siblings, both my older brother and Michael's younger sister live in Brooklyn. And Michael's sister lives with her boyfriend, my brother lives with his girlfriend. So we knew we were gonna tell those 4 people all on the same day. Like I said though, we wanted to tell them each separately and do something different. So we told them that we were looking at an apartment in Brooklyn. And we actually told my brother, can we come over, say hi, and then we're gonna go to our apartment that we're looking at. And we told Michael's sister, we're going to an apartment first, and then can we come over and say hi and hang out for dinner. And the whole lie of us going to look at an apartment, this made sense because we were in the process of moving and trying to find an apartment. That whole lie was created just so that we could have an excuse to budget our time properly and like first be with my brother and then go be with Michael's sister. So we got to my brother's apartment and we decided to do the pregnancy reveal where you pretend you're taking a photo with the people and you tell them to smile and you say cheese, and everyone says cheese, and then you say like, oh, let's redo it. Okay, everyone say Lucie's pregnant, and just kind of like see what they do. So thankfully, Allie was with us for both of these reveals. So Allie was, very instrumental in this one. So Allie picks up the phone as if she's taking a photo, but she's actually recording a video. And she tells everyone, say cheese.
Okay, everyone say cheese.
So everyone says cheese. Then Allie says, Lucie, you blinked. Oh, you look so crazy. We're gonna retake that.
Wait, hold on. No, Lucie, you blinked. You're gonna love how you looked in that photo.
All the while I'm behind my brother, sneakily holding up the pregnancy test. So then she says, everyone say, Lucie's pregnant. Okay, now I don't know if you've ever seen a pregnancy reveal like this. I've seen a lot of people do this. And for the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, when people hear the person say someone is pregnant, everyone immediately stops smiling and like freaks out and looks at the person. And then they, everyone's like, what? Oh my God. My brother and his girlfriend just said it.
Okay, ready? Everyone say, Lucie's pregnant.
Lucie's pregnant.
Just the weekend before, when I actually was pregnant, but I saw them, it was Easter weekend, and I saw them and they didn't know I was pregnant, but I was pregnant. They brought up the topic of us having kids, and I said to them, oh, you're gonna have to slow way down. We are nowhere near ready for that. But I was actually pregnant at the time.
Okay, ready? Everyone say, Lucie's pregnant.
Lucie's pregnant.
No, she's not. What? No way!
It was all check! It was all check! Oh my God! Oh my God! He's holding up the thing!
Everyone,
Talk about a well-executed plan! Holy
Lucie's
shit!
pregnant! You guys just said it like nothing was wrong.
Yeah,
So our next stop was off to Michael's sister's apartment. And Michael's sister really thought that I was gonna be trying at age 32. So we got over to their apartment, they were cooking us dinner, and I had actually been trying to figure out a way in the first like half hour of us being there. I was trying to find a way to put the test down in front of them, but she was cooking and he was sitting on the couch talking to Michael, like they weren't together, and I didn't want to do it when they weren't sitting together. So I had to wait until they plated the food and like sat down next to each other. And then I pulled up a picture on my phone of the pregnancy test. And I just like put it down on the table.
Cool.
Yeah.
Michael's sister just kind of stared at it. Like she knew it was a pregnancy test, but she couldn't really read the words on it, at least in the picture, because it was so small. And so I think the first thing she said was, it's negative.
Yeah. Negative.
And then once she saw that we had the actual test and she could see the word pregnant on it, then her brain just went to like, this is an April Fool's joke. It was about April 7th, I think. I'm not remembering exactly what day it was, but it was kind of close to April Fool's, and she completely thought it was April Fool's.
Negative.
This is obviously
No, I don't
an
believe
April
you.
Fool's thing.
It's April Fool's. It's not true.
It's not April Fool's.
It's not April Fool's.
Swear
Wait,
to-
no.
I swear to God.
I don't believe
Wait,
you. It's not April
I
Fool's.
swear to God.
Are you kidding?
No.
Seriously? It's an accident?
No.
You liar! You said 3-4 years?
She just did not believe us. Like they both thought it was April Fool's, but I think we all just kind of like ate our dinner really quickly, like in a blackout mode. Like no one remembers eating the meal. We just remember telling them, and then everyone being in this like funky blackout phase of like no one really remembers what happened.
What?
Wait, for how long? You tried to trick her. You tried to trick us for 30 years. For 3.
Oh my God. Dude.
There's a baby in here. You're so
It's-
tiny though.
So it's brand, like, we literally found out like 3 days ago.
It's the
4
size
days
of a
ago.
poppy seed. So now all of our siblings knew, and it was time to tell the parents. So we made back-to-back plans with our parents. So my parents were coming into the city on a Friday night, and then Michael and I had plans to go to his parents' apartment the following day to spend the day with them. Here was the plan with my parents. We invited them to come to dinner. We had this whole salmon dinner cooking in the oven, and we bought these napkins on Amazon that I will pop up a photo of right here. And they basically say, ah, and the H of the word ah like drags out all the way to the bottom. And then the last line says, we're having a baby. We rolled up the cutlery, like the forks and knives for the meal in these napkins. I made them really pretty. Like I tried to tie them with washi tape and make them like, you know, fancy napkins for our dinner. And then the plan was we were going to seat everyone at the table with regular forks and knives set out. And just before the meal, once everyone was seated, Michael was gonna say, oh wait, I forgot, Lucy already, you know, wrapped up forks and knives in these napkins. So we took those other ones away and he brings over the napkin rolls. And that way we just could control the fact that they would both get their napkins at the same time and hopefully both unwrap them at the same time. Okay, so what you need to know about this reveal with my parents going into this, otherwise you're gonna be confused once my dad finds out. My dad was the only person in both families that had some sort of an inkling that we were about to tell them something. And I think that's because Michael and I don't often host our parents at our apartment for dinner. We usually go to them for dinners or we go out together, but it's very rare that we like have them over and cook a meal for them. So I think my dad getting the invitation to come to our apartment for dinner had somewhat of an idea that we were about to tell him that we were pregnant. That being said, I had really never spoken to my parents about our timeline, or my parents really never asked me when I wanted to have a kid, so I didn't think that it was on his radar, but it was. The reason you need to know that my dad had this inkling is that as we're prepping the meal, like I'm in my apartment freaking out. I think I filmed myself, so I'll try to pop up some of the footage of me prepping. You know, I was like rolling up the napkins, cooking the salmon. All right, it's time. So we are going to tell my parents tonight that I'm pregnant, and we're gonna tell Michael's parents tomorrow night when we see them. I'm currently cooking dinner for my parents. They think they're just coming over to have dinner in our apartment. I've got some stuff on the stove top here, zucchini, eggplant, some peppers and onions, rice, and then I have salmon marinating in the fridge. I'm so nervous. Every time I think about it, I get a shot of adrenaline. I'm just so excited to tell them. And my plan is to put my phone on a tripod in the living room. I'm actually gonna leave it on a tripod the whole time that they're here and tell them that I was shooting something earlier. That's very believable for me, so they won't think anything of the phone. And then as soon as they sit down, I'll hit record so that you can see how they react. Ah! Here it is. So I'm gonna give each of us a fork and a knife and wrap it up in the napkin like this so you can't read it until you dismantle it. All right, I changed my outfit and I'm gonna set the table with regular forks and knives for now. My plan is that after we're all sitting down, I'm gonna run back and be like, oh, wait, don't use these forks and knives. We have special napkins. At least I think that's my plan. So I'm gonna set the table. My parents had first gone to my sister's apartment to drop something off. So I knew they were at Allie's apartment. And Allie knew that we were pregnant and that we were about to tell them. And as I'm preparing, as I'm cooking the salmon, I get a text from my dad out of nowhere that says, Lucie Craig, period. And I'm literally staring at my phone like, Lucie Craig? How does he know? Did Allie just tell him? I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, what are the odds that he would just accidentally write that? What is going on? And then he immediately follows up the text with, sorry, error, typo. I don't know what he said. He basically was like, sorry, that was a typo. At Allie's, we'll be there soon. Okay, so I'm staring at my phone. I'm like, Lucie Craig, huh. Immediately, Allie texts me and says, Mom and Dad left, they're on the way. Good luck. And I call Allie. As soon as I know my parents are out of there, I call Allie. And I'm like, Allie, did you tell them? And she's like, what? No, they have no idea. Dad just texted me, Lucie Craig, and she is so confused. She is just saying, what? He was just here. They didn't say anything to me. I didn't say anything to them. They don't seem to have any clue what's going on. And we're trying to figure it out. And Allie says to me, just so you know, this is what the truth is. This is what actually wound up being true. Allie says to me, if I had to guess, I think Dad has some sort of an inkling in his brain that you might be pregnant. And I think he was maybe trying to send a text message to himself saying Lucie Preg, so that if you did in fact tell him you were pregnant at this dinner, he could pull up the text that he sent to himself and say, look, here's proof. I knew you were pregnant 30 minutes before. That's kind of what my dad does. He is known to write things down or text himself things so that he has proof of a thought before he learns some information. But because I was the first person in his text message thread at the time, he accidentally sent it to me. My parents arrived.
Lucy, you have your salmon here. And just Michael's me.
Don't use the forks and knives. I forgot that I have.
I put these out, but she wants to
Can I
use.
make these wraps?
She has other ideas. She has. No, just like. I think she wrapped them in napkins or something.
Well, you're not going to take it with them, so they can get the person if you want to leave it out or take it down.
Yeah, what do you think you're going to say back?
Check out the napkin. That's cool.
What? No. Are you kidding me?
Did you see the text I sent you by accident?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Did you see the text I sent you by accident?
What was that?
Yeah, I was meant to text to my. I meant to text it to myself because I knew that was what was happening.
Oh my
Did you get it? Did you see that? Or did you show it to him?
No, you didn't tell him anything to say. Does she know what's happening?
No, I didn't say that.
No.
I sent her. I meant to text to myself, Lucie Fink, and then I accidentally texted it to Lucy. I meant to text it to myself because I knew that's what was happening.
Okay, what's happening?
I wanted to tell you guys immediately, so I'm only about 5 to 6 weeks.
Congratulations!
They were so excited. We have kept those napkins. I will link them down below if anyone wants to use them for a pregnancy reveal. They were really cute. I actually got the link from a follower of mine, and we will definitely be keeping those napkins forever and showing them to our future baby one day. So up next, Michael's parents. So the following day we went to their apartment, and the little backstory here is that I think it was about a week after we had been at their apartment for Passover. If you're not Jewish or you don't know anything about Passover, there is this little game that people play often at Passover where someone hides what's called the afikomen. And the afikomen is basically a piece of matzah wrapped in a towel or a napkin. The older people, hide afikomens around the house, and then the kids go and try to find the afikomen, and whoever finds it wins like chocolate or $2 or something like that. So every year on Passover, Michael's grandfather hides a few afikomen like around, I don't know if it's afikomen or afikomens, but he hides these little matzah roll-ups in a paper towel around the house in different spots. And then the kids, which is us, like we are considered the kids in the family, plus the younger cousins, run around and find these things. And there's like fewer afikomens than there are people, so only some people find them, and those people get the little prize. So Michael and I thought, what if we take our pregnancy test and we wrap it in paper towel and we hide it? And then what if Michael finds an afikomen and brings it out and gives it to his parents and tells his parents, like, we must have not found grandpa's last afikomen last week. I got my in-laws to sit next to me on the couch, and I told them that I had a video to show them, which this is also very standard for the job I do. I'm always like pulling out my phone to show them something that I filmed, and Michael was standing looking out the window so that he could like bump into the afikomen on the floor under the curtain.
Guys,
I forget what folder I put it in.
I think Grandpa left an afikomen here.
Oh God. Who didn't get one?
What?
So weird.
That's gross.
What's in it?
Check the matzah.
It's totally.
Ew.
Gross, just throw it out.
Yeah.
Just check. I mean,
Yeah,
check
me
if it's
too.
in there first.
Well, I don't. Whatever's in there is.
Okay, so
So
this
weird.
When did
is
he get Scotch tape?
All the while I'm sitting in the middle, like pretending that I'm trying to pull up a video, because I felt like if I just sat there like watching them unwrap this thing, it would be obvious that we had done something and planted something. This is like a first draft of it. And it's... His dad unwraps the test and he sees that it's a pregnancy test. And Michael's mom's first words were,
Oh, Lucy.
I think that she saw in his hands like some sort of a feminine pea stick related tool. And I think she just associated it with me, because if you remember, like a couple of months before this, I had made a YouTube video about how I came off the pill and I was tracking my ovulation and I was using like ovulation predictor strips. She had watched that video. I think she just saw this pea stick and her first thought was like, oh, that's Lucie's, because she had just seen the videos of me holding up sticks like this. And then I think she realized it's a pregnancy test and we're both staring at them. And so then she says,
Oh, Lucy, are you pregnant?
and when I said yes, her first words were the exact same first words as my mom's first words, which was, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my God. All right.
At that point, she starts crying. She kind of like collapses into Michael and starts hugging him. And kind of similar to how it was when we told Michael's sister, the whole rest of that day for the two of them was just this blur. And so the whole rest of that day, we took a walk together, we had lunch with them, and they were both just like in this dazed and confused state of having it feel like a total dream. So overall, telling our families that I'm pregnant was so exciting. I remember that week of my life. It was just like all these momentous occasions, one after the other, and I love telling people secrets.
Oh guys, I wanted to show you this. Lucy took this photo.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I think this is what it is. Is it? Is it what I think it is? Oh my God. It's a great photo, right? Oh my God.
Oh my.
And I will also share some videos here of telling a few of my other friends. I only had a couple of friends that I was able to tell in person. So my friend Lauren, I went to her apartment and I actually was gifting her a dollhouse that my mom had made for me when I was little, and I was giving it to her so that she could give it to her daughter Avery. I put the pregnancy test in the roof of the dollhouse and I had her come to the car and open the roof, and she saw the test sitting there.
He's gonna bring all of my people over.
You can open this because it has your mom's.
Are you kidding me? You lied to me in the film.
We also were able to tell a couple of my friends from college in person, and what I did was I went to dinner with the two of them and Allie, and I went up to the waitress and I told the waitress I would really like to surprise those two girls with these two ultrasounds. So if you could like bring over a menu book or something and put the ultrasounds in the menu book and hand it to the girls and tell them like, here's tonight's specials.
I think so too.
I like feel pain.
We have some specials on the menu tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Or on the back of the card.
Surprise!
Okay, don't open your eyes until I tell you to, okay? Okay. I'm scared. Okay, open your eyes. Wait, I wanna open your eyes. That's the size of our nephew. We're gonna be in it! Are you lying? Wait, what? So I'm right. So I'm right.
Most of my other friends I had to tell over FaceTime, so I just, we'll insert a compilation here of a few of my friends finding out over FaceTime. Obviously a lot more anticlimactic than an in-person reveal, but I still told all these people in the first trimester and just wanted to share the news with all of my loved ones. I knew it! I don't want to freak anyone out. It's not a huge deal. I just felt like it was important as soon as I know, just kind of be upfront and share this info with you guys. So I have a new person that is going to be coming on joining, and it's a baby.
Oh my gosh, Lucie, I'm so excited for you.
There's just no way to say it.
I was just thinking the other day about, I know this is a little strange, but how important it's going to be for you to take on a pretty big role within Lucie Fink Media, given all that's going on,
Yeah? What?
I was just thinking, given that there's going to be a new team member as part of Lucie Fink Media, that it's going to be a big thing,
No! No!
We're having a baby.
I, of course, was so excited to tell my family that I'm pregnant, obviously for the news of telling them that I have a baby coming, but I feel like more so than anything, I was most excited to reveal this news because I felt like it was finally me being able to share with my family what stage of life I was currently at. Because for the months before this, leading up to this, honestly, the years leading up to this, I was just not open with them about what stage Michael and I were at. I didn't ever tell them that we were thinking of trying, and once we started trying, I didn't tell them we were trying. So I was living in this world in my head of cycle tracking and researching how to conceive and taking online courses about trying to conceive, and no one in my family knew. I was listening to all these podcasts about getting pregnant, I had read books about it, and nobody knew what was going on. So for me, sharing this news was not only me telling them, you're gonna be aunts and uncles and grandparents, but it was also me just telling people surprise, we're ready to have a baby. And I know we've been lying about this, but we are ready. And it's happening. I hope you liked watching this video, even if you just scrolled through and watched all the fun parts. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I know I'm a bit slow with the posting. I mentioned that I was gonna be slowing down and posting every other week instead of every week, but at the moment I'm trying to slow down my posting schedule in general, especially as I enter this new stage of my life where I know I'm just not going to have the bandwidth to keep up with weekly YouTube videos. At least that's what I think. Obviously things could change, but I'm preparing to take it easy and take it slow. Give this video a thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button below, and I will see you next time here on my YouTube channel.